Hi folks, William Stillman, Psychic Medium. We are finally, after a long hiatus, back in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. And I am here this time with Greg Lauer, and I will allow Greg to introduce himself in just a moment. I do want to thank everyone who has been watching our previous videos, who have been commenting, and I especially want to thank those of you who have taken such an interest in my work as to reach out and to send to me some of your very unusual and very interesting photographs of unexplained anomalies that you have taken out in Gettysburg. So that's been interesting to look at. To the folks who have also left comments to the effect that you have been incredulous that I don't know anything about where I am, or how could I not know what happened, I just, with no offense to any historians, I want to tell you that this just isn't my thing. Like, I appreciate the history of the Civil War, but it's not something that I myself would have researched on my own. So my interests lie elsewhere, so I can assure you that I have no idea where Greg will be taking me today. And it's never dull. What can I say? So Greg, I'll let you tell folks who you are and what you're about.
Okay, thank you, Bill. It's good to be here. As Bill mentioned, my name is Greg Lauer. I'm originally from Biglerville, which is about 8 miles up the road. I live in Kentucky currently and made the trip this weekend just to be here and enjoy the surroundings. I guess I best classify myself as a battlefield enthusiast and an amateur historian. I don't have any books that I've written or anything along those lines, but I love this place. I grew up here, could see the monuments from my parents' backyard, even if it was 8 miles away. So I'm really glad to be here, and I'll do my best to affirm what comes about today. Thank you.
Terrific. Thanks. I'm looking forward to it.
Me too.
So we're at a new location, and lots of open fields here. Again, it feels kind of peaceful and serene here. And for whatever reason, Greg asked if I wanted to go up or down, and I'm feeling pulled up this way. I'm not sure why. And it's not to the monument, it's just beyond the monument, actually. I almost feel like I want to go beyond the fence, but I don't think I can. Would that make sense why I would be being pulled up that far?
I mean, not necessarily directly, but certainly indirectly. You know, you turn around and might see something of interest, or
I feel
the
like
vista is pretty good up here.
I feel like I want to get up here, so it's almost like I have a bird's eye view of everything. So I'm wondering then if there would have been, I don't know what the word is, battles, engagements. I feel like all I survey is potential territory for all of this to have happened.
Yes.
Is that correct?
That is exactly correct.
Thank you. So it's interesting then why I was pulled up here. So I almost have this, as I said, perspective, bird's eye perspective. So it's almost like as far as I can see, and it's almost 90 degrees, where it would encompass all of the areas where there were, what's the term? Encounters?
Encounters, yep. Engagements.
Engagements, that's a good word. Yep. Yep. That's what I'm picking up on. I'm also wondering if I was pulled up here because this would have been a site where men of higher ranking could have been stationed to look out over what was going on. And I'm actually seeing, I don't know if this makes sense, I don't know if there was an encampment or a tent up here, but I'm seeing a table. I'm seeing a table, and I'm seeing, maybe that's why I keep feeling pulled a little bit further beyond where we are now. But I keep feeling like this may also have been an area from which the balloons or the kites would have been launched, as well as signals. I'm wondering if you know anything about that.
I don't know of any balloon use here. That certainly was used during the Civil War. There were signal stations on the Union side, not here though. There may have been Confederate stuff going on.
Okay. What about the idea that there was an encampment or a place where the higher ranking officials would have
You're
been
picking
stationed?
up, I think, on two different things.
Two
and
different
they
things.
Both are completely accurate.
Both are accurate.
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to fill us in?
Sure. This.
But here, where we
yes,
are, this spot, which is where I was being pulled to.
On this, now I'll take you to see. We started on the second and third day, then we went to the second day. Now we're the first day. I'm taking
The first day of the battle.
First day of the battle.
Okay.
Started.
So would that be accurate? And let me continue to
Sure.
roll here, if you don't mind, before you give me too much information. But would it have been accurate that I was pulled up here because of the advantageous perspective to, and maybe Tim can give us a sweep here behind us of all that I'm seeing, and it's like again, almost 90 degrees of what I'm seeing is areas where all of the engagements would have played out. Would that be correct?
Yes.
Okay. And I'm also wondering if this encampment would have been one of the semi-permanent stations for the duration. Does that make any sense?
Yes,
So
actually, that does make a little sense. I can explain
so,
that one too.
So I don't feel as though once, for example, you're talking about this is day one, this is ground zero. So what I'm wondering is if the encampment was then set up here beyond day one.
Yes.
Is what I'm wondering. Thank you, because semi-permanent. I'm being told to say no for the duration.
Okay.
So I don't know if that makes any sense to you.
It does. There's, yeah, I can explain some of that at least.
Okay, thank you. I have to tell you, there is a sense of confusion in the thinking that there needs to be a rapid succession of revisions to the plans, and I want to remind you to take off your glasses.
Surely.
A revision to the plans based upon what's happening.
Oh yeah.
So it's almost like there are these conferences that are happening as things are playing out, and I'm being shown a map unfurled on the table.
Okay, that could be.
And it must have been a portable or transportable table, if that makes any sense to you. And based upon what's happening, there are these strategic conferences to discuss new revisions of the approach, if that makes sense to you. And I'm being told to use the word approach in terms of not a method, but actually the manner in which the troops are coming onto the field. Would that make any sense to you?
Spot on.
Okay. And so there is one fella in particular with a beard and mustache who is here in a position of authority, who has an extensive military background.
Okay.
I'm being told to say. So I feel as though he would have served in another capacity in another battle prior to this one, and I'm ignorant of the history, so I don't know what that would have been. But I feel as though he is, I'm being told to say, decorated.
Okay.
I don't know if that makes any sense based on what I'm saying, but he feels, it feels to me as though he has, he is sort of the voice of reason when it comes to rethinking and revising the plan. That's what I'm picking up on.
Okay, not sure on that, but.
And would he have also worn a star?
Yes, if that's who I'm thinking of.
Okay, beard and mustache.
Yes.
As these gentlemen in front of us have beards and mustaches walking. It's very curious. That's what I'm picking up on. what's the name Grant?
He didn't fight it in this. He was not here.
Would there have been? Now you're thinking Ulysses Grant.
Yes.
Would the name Grant have been pertaining to someone else?
Possibly. I don't know.
Okay, so that's one thing that I'm wondering. There is also a sense of that it's almost like there's an unwritten understanding between both sides that come nightfall there's a halt to the fighting.
Sometimes, yes.
So to me, it feels as though there's a temporary halt or a truce until the following morning. And it also feels as though the following morning, at the first crack of dawn, once there's any daylight, I mean, we're talking really early, like 5:30 in the morning is what I'm seeing, that it starts anew.
Not so much here, but actually two of the other places that we were at today.
That would have been relevant.
Well, let me rephrase that. Yes, at night generally.
There was ceasefire.
There would be an opportunity for the sides to take their wounded out.
Not always,
I also
want to tell you what I'm picking up on is I don't know if there would have been a reason for this. I don't know if this is accurate, but I also feel as though the high-ranking officials from both sides would have also had an opportunity to interact.
That I don't think happened here. It may have happened.
I'm wondering about that. Because I'm wondering if there would have been an opportunity for them to engage in a dialogue. I'm wondering.
You mean from opposite sides?
Yes.
Yeah. Not that I'm aware of here.
Yep. Yeah. I'm also metaphorically, I'm smelling cows. So I'm wondering if there was a farm very near to here where it would have carried the scent of cow manure.
Yep.
Where is that? Where would that have been?
One right over the top of the hill. You can't even see it from here. That is the McLean farm. It's that way.
And they would have had cows?
Oh yeah. And it's funny you can't see. Oh yeah, it's really tough to see, but the McPherson farm is. You see where it's right down? Yeah, right across that. Yeah. It's actually surrounded by trees. But that would be there. But yeah, for sure. I mean, the nearest one's right over the hill here.
Got it. All right.
So.
I think that's about all I'm picking up from this spot right now. Anything that you can verify?
There were a lot of people during the Civil War that were bearded, but one that come in mind who would have been here in the opening hours of the first day's battle was Lieutenant General Ewell. He was the head of the Second Corps of Confederates. They came down. His corps was stationed on the night of June 30th. Battle started 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Actually, Heidlersburg area. So if you came down Route 15, there's the Heidlersburg exit. He had one of his divisions there and another one about 3 miles east of there. They were told to converge either on Gettysburg or Cashtown, which is in that direction over there, as circumstances might dictate.
And this gentleman would have worn a star.
Yeah, he was a
yellow star.
Maybe.
Is what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
That's why I'm asking.
Yes.
The gentleman with the beard and the mustache who was a high-ranking official.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He would have had maybe several stars, but certainly.
I'll take it.
Yeah. So anyway, my point is that this is very interesting. Ewell and his lead division of roads were coming up, and they stopped at Biglerville, which is called Middletown at the time, which is my hometown, as I mentioned before. And they got word that there was a fight here in Gettysburg, so they came down and took the side roads and entered the battle here. And look what they could see everything. The Union line, the fighting was happening down in that direction, and here they're coming in at the flank. And there's all these cannons here. Remember earlier I said that there was a cannon that could shoot 5 miles? Those two right there are Whitworth rifled artillery pieces. They're actually British, and they could shoot 5 to 6 miles.
What about?
And they were shooting the round tops, which is over that.
Oh my gosh!
And when you mentioned you had several things that were very interesting. There would have been troops here the entire duration of the battle. This was one of the better artillery posts that the Confederates had in their line. because they were shooting. It's tough to see. Come this way, dip down a little bit. I lost it. There's a water tower, and that's always, it's on the other side of town. That's always the reference point beyond that tree of Cemetery Hill, which was the apex of the Union line. So they'd be shooting there. You can't really, it's interesting, it's one of the few parts of the battlefield you can't see the round tops. That would have been, well, you sort of can actually. They're poking up behind the left of the grove of trees. There's a couple hills. They would be shooting over there. But they were shooting different parts of the battlefield from this location. The other thing that's very interesting about the encampment, this monument here was dedicated in 1938 at the 75th anniversary of the Battle of Gettysburg. And FDR came and he spoke, and they unveiled this. They had a huge encampment down in the fields. They had 100,000 people come to that.
Oh my goodness.
And I don't think they were all encamped, but maybe 150. It was either 100 or 150,000 people came to that dedication. And this was the last reunion where there was actually Civil War soldiers who fought here that were still alive. And there was, I forget, 1,500, 2,000, maybe more, that were veterans of this battle, and they were all encamped in the hill down below us. So that was,
Very
yeah, you
interesting.
picked up some very interesting things here.
Thank you.
So,
All right, anything else you'd like to add?
I can't think of anything. Yeah.
All right, well, thank you.